With The Elder Scrolls Online kicking off its 10th anniversary celebrations in time for new chapter Gold Road launching on PS4 and PS5 on the 18th of June, new players would be forgiven for asking the question, am I going to be able to join a party that's been going strong for an entire decade? I felt similar trepidation after being invited to a hands-on session with Gold Road. I'm a massive fan of both Oblivion and Skyrim, but have, to my great shame, so far only dabbled casually in The Elder Scrolls Online. After 2 hours with the new chapter, I'm now of the opinion it's not only totally fine to jump in fashionably late, but that actually there's never been a better time for new players to get on board, and here's why. The big addition for Gold Road is, well, Gold Road, an eternally autumnal stretch of Westweald, a picturesque zone nestled in the southeast corner of Cyrodiil that reminds me of the Rift in Skyrim, a rolling sweep of orange and crimson and occasional trolls that need setting on fire. Most excitingly, you get to explore the city of Skingrad, a place Oblivion fans will fondly remember. Only in Elder Scrolls Online, it feels more expansive and lived in. As is always the case when I'm playing a game under strict time constraints, I spent way too long wandering about just taking in the place. But then you can't help it. Immediately I felt that irresistible tug of curiosity Elder Scrolls always seems to provide. Who lives over here? What's in this building? What happens if I fire an arrow at one of these guards? Patented Elder Scrolls chaos followed by a swift death is the answer to the third question. As well as Gold Road, you've also got Dawnwood, a tangle of enticing jungle from nearby Valenwood, home to the Wood Elves, basically Mecca for stealthy archers, and the striking Colovian Highlands, a mountainous region littered with mysterious Aelid ruins. We've been promised 30 hours of content in this new chapter, and it's easy to see how I could happily spend all that time rambling about, accompanied by the classic ambient bloom of background music, which, much like in Oblivion and Skyrim, does a brilliant job of soaking your senses in that intangible sense of adventure. Perhaps the biggest new addition gameplay-wise is Scribing, which essentially lets you craft and customize your own spells. After an initial quest that involves being sucked inside a mysterious portal, classic Elder Scrolls, you eventually meet a talking crow who takes you through the basics. You can choose the nature of the spell, fire damage for example, then how the spell works, so that could be an immediate blast of damage or a stream of pain over a number of seconds, and finally you can add a visual flourish, making everything purple for instance. In-game, scribing is explained as imbuing an element of artistry into your spells, and it does feel satisfying concocting something, slotting it into your skill line, and then unleashing it in battle. It reminds me a bit of enchanting weapons in Skyrim. You're provided with all the base elements, but it's up to you how you assemble them. I'm really looking forward to playing about with the system and seeing how deep and flexible it goes. For returning players, there's the promise of fresh story, with Gold Road picking up after the events of previous chapter Necrom. There's a new Daedric Prince on the loose in the shape of Ithelia, a character never before seen in the Elder Scrolls, and it's your job to investigate, track down, and then ultimately stick a sword in. Plus, there's a new 12-player trial called Lucent Citadel, set in a long-lost Daedric vault. That's where the MMO meat is, of course, teaming up with friends and taking on the kind of sprawling challenge that simply wouldn't be possible in a single-player Elder Scrolls game. But as a relative noob, I was pleasantly surprised by the welcoming familiarity of much of this world. There's plenty to do here on your own, and I don't think it's a disservice to say that for long stretches, the Elder Scrolls Online feels a lot like Oblivion and Skyrim. You can solo quest away to your heart's content. It's just even more enormous, and you occasionally get the thrill of bumping into other players off on their own adventure. I wasn't supposed to be doing this, but I did spend a good chunk of my hands-on time fast travelling to locations I know from those previous games, just to see how they've been realised in the Elder Scrolls Online. Solitude, the imperial capital in Cyrodiil. What a thrill that there now exists a game where all these iconic locations are stitched together in one giant mega map. And that's why I think it's totally okay to be arriving fashionably late to the MMO party, because it's already in full swing. There's so much to explore and get lost in, so many quests to go on in locations both new and old, with an on-ramp gentle enough that you won't get overwhelmed. The Elder Scrolls Online Gold Road hits PS4 and PS5 on the 18th of June, and 10 years in, I truly think now is a brilliant time to get on board if you've been, like me, jealously looking through the door, Russell Crowe style, at all the fun everyone's been having, wondering if it's too late. Give this video a like if you've enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell to make sure you stay up to date with all our videos celebrating everything PlayStation. Thanks for watching, and catch you again soon.
PlayStation